Good morning, students. Today, let me discuss next important element, that is so called as the income tax authorities. So, within the literature of the Income Tax Act, actually, the income tax authorities are going to play their major role. So, in this literature, you are going to study, one is the introduction to the income tax authorities, second thing is the appointment of income tax authorities, and third thing is that powers of income tax authorities. So, these are the three important elements that you are going to study within the literature of the income tax authorities. So, first let me discuss the introduction to the income tax authorities. And as we all know that in India, it is only the central government which has supreme powers so as to appoint this kind of income tax authorities. And if you go through the literature, it is the section 116 of the Income Tax Act truly empowers some important powers to the income tax authorities so as to do the effective administration of the Income Tax Act, and they will take care with respect to monitoring as well as controlling and the implementation of income tax in India. That is why the major work is going to be assigned to this category of the people. And as far as the class of the income tax authority is concerned, they are going to be divided into two groups. One is administrative class and another one is the judicial class. So as far as the administrative class is concerned, there is one hierarchy. At the top you will find the one authority called as the CBDT. CBDT in the sense Central Board of Direct Taxes. And below that rank you will find the Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, and later Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, and thereafter Principal Commissioner of Income Tax, and later Commissioner of Income Tax, and then Additional Commissioner of Income Tax, Deputy Commissioner of Income Tax, Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax, Income Tax Officers, and as well as the last category will be the Income Tax Inspector. So this is the hierarchy of the administrative class of the income tax authorities, and it is on their shoulders. They have to effectively execute as well as effectively implement the income tax within the India. That is why the effective as well as efficient administration of the income tax is going to be monitored by this kind of highest authority in India. So that is the brief introduction of the income tax authorities. And second thing is that appointment of income tax authorities. So who has been authorized to appoint the income tax authorities in India? As I have rightly said that in India it is only the central government which has the supreme powers so as to appoint income tax authorities, and they have been empowered to appoint up to and above the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax. That is one thing. And second thing is that if you see, it is the central government which is going to establish one important board, that is so called as the CBDT. It means Central Board of Direct Taxes, and other important authorities have been empowered so as to appoint below the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax in India. And apart from that, that CBDT is going to nominate some of the ministerial staff and other executives for the effective implementation of income tax in India. That is the appointment of income tax authorities, and it is going to be suggested by 117 of Income Tax Act of the 1961. And later, if you go through, there are some of the important powers which are going to be enjoyed by income tax authorities in India. What are those? First thing is the power of discovery, production of evidence. So what it is literally mean by power of discovery? Power of discovery is nothing but inquiry, inspection, as well as examination of assessees on oath. That is so called as the discovery. And second thing is that the production of evidence. So here evidence are nothing but the books of accounts which are going to be maintained by any assessees, and apart from that some of the supporting important documents which can be called for the sake of examination. That is what we mean as the production of the evidences. And second thing is that power of search and seizure. Power of search in the sense the income tax authorities have the supreme powers so as to identify and compute the total income which is going to be earned by assessee in the previous year, and they will search out whether all the sources of the revenue has been included in the taxable income or not. If any kind of the income which has been escaped, which has not been accounted, that is going to be taken care by the income tax authorities by doing the reassessment. That is all about the search. And seizure in the sense something like forfeiture. Seizure is nothing but something like forfeiture. You can see this in case of unwanted assets, in the sense if any kind of the fixed assets has been purchased by the business organization and they have started using it, but the thing is that they have not shown it as the asset in the books of accounts. Say for example, machinery has been purchased by a company, and with the help of machinery they have started doing the production of the goods. But the thing is that when the income tax authorities have searched into the fixed assets, they have not been identified machinery as one of the fixed assets in the books of accounts which are so maintained by the company. By that time, such kind of unwanted assets which are ignored to show in the books of accounts, those are going to be forfeited, taken into the custody of the income tax authorities. That is so called as the seizure. And third thing is that requisitions of books of accounts. Requisitions of the books of accounts in the sense it is as per company law that the company has to mandatorily maintain some of the important books, registers, document, vouchers. So here income tax authorities are going to see that whether the proper books of accounts are going to be maintained and to what extent they have followed the legal provisions which are going to be suggested by the company law and which are going to be suggested by Income Tax Act, whether the proper books of accounts have been maintained or not, to what extent they are giving the authenticity, legitimacy of the accounts, whether the true and fair view of books of accounts have been maintained or not. Like this, they are going to see that each and every books of accounts and even some of the important supporting documents, registers, vouchers are going to be verified by the income tax authorities. And fourth thing is that power to call for information. So this is also very important because it is one of the scrutiny which is going to be made by income tax authorities. That is why if they expect to collect any kind of the information which they feel useful for the inspection, all such information is going to be gathered by income tax authorities. Say for example, if they are conducting the inspection of the partnership firm, they will see that name and addresses of each and every partners, and apart from that how many shares which they have purchased in the partnership firm. Like this they are going to collect each and every information with respect to the partners. And if suppose any of the assessees are acting with the help of the agents, with the help of the guardians, the information relating to all those agents as well as the guardians is going to be gathered by the income tax authorities. So it means that whatever the information which is relevant for the sake of examination and inspection, all such information is going to be gathered by them. And next thing is that the power of survey. Actually speaking, the term survey has not been defined in the Income Tax Act. What is survey in the sense? Survey is nothing but casting of eyes, inspection of something that is going to be done by the income tax authorities. The last thing is that the collection of the information. This is the last power, but very important power which is going to be enjoyed by the income tax authorities, because they are having the independent powers so as to question and so as to personally visit any person, any location which they think that they can access any such information. That is why as a part of this kind of a inspection part, they can go to any location and they can visit any person and they can ask any number of the questions so as to access that kind of a useful information. That is what we mean as the collection of the information. So these are the some of the important powers as well as the functions which are going to be enjoyed by the income tax authorities. With this I am going to conclude my discussion. Thank you.